Hello, and welcome to Class L Probe here in the Science Division of Live Long and Podcast. This is the show where we do deep dives into the big questions.
Where's my beetle stuff?
Which is that?
Yes.
That is that. And we do our best to talk intelligently about these questions.
Let birds go for the loose maybe. Round the turbulent quick. Or close the reverse harbor.
Much like that.
Much like that.
Much like that. I am one of your hosts, Devin S9.
Aha.
And with me, as always, my co-cutor of Trek.
Indeed.
The other tailor
Hi,
in my
Dave.
shop.
That's me.
Dave.
That's me, Dave.
And regular face co-founder of this show, Adam
Indeed.
Woodward. Yes.
In fact, by his suggestion, this exists.
Well, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. I drove furiously back from Ottawa to be here on time.
Well, we're glad you did.
We're glad you
Sam.
Hey,
Always
Sam's here. Of
always
course.
there.
Glad to see you,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, this is Class L Probe. Hit it and legit it.
Too legit to quit it.
This is our fifth night of launching probes, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
4 previous ones were very insightful, very fun. Some very good questions here tonight.
All right.
I don't know which one we should start with. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we should save the heavy one for the end, which is Dave's.
Sure.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I think that's what you said last time.
In fact, I was trying to decide whether we've actually done Dave's before. It feels like we had, but probably not.
No, I don't think we've done that one. Maybe you were on that debate night.
No, it was definitely a Delta probe. Delta quadrant thing, pardon me, that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, maybe it was debate 9, I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe. All right.
Well, why
So
don't
we want to start with
let's start with this
Adam
one.
or Davin?
Let's start with
All
right.
right.
I like this one.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
I do just before we start here, just to question the premise of the entire endeavor.
Sure.
I do have a precision or something from our intrepid author of the original question. She says that it was the Hollow Suite is not big enough to host a baseball game with spectators. Particularly,
it's even bigger than a holodeck.
The Hollow Suites at Quarks?
Yeah, aren't they?
No, they're like weeny tiny. We see them. They're like these little lenticular rooms. Yeah, they're kind of like personal holodecks almost, right? But either way, I think we can probably try and argue this point. And if we can prove it for the holodeck, it's definitely true for the Hollow Suite.
I shall change the question. The Hollow Suite is not big enough to host a baseball game. I wonder if I can get a picture of that DS9 Hollow Suite.
Oh yeah, throw it up if you can find it.
Yeah, very.
Because we all know the beautiful yellow line grid on the black space with the door of the classic Enterprise D.
Oh yeah, there it is. There, I guess that would be it.
All right, throw it up here.
There. Is that what that is? Let's find out. What do you guys think? Hold on. I'm gonna throw that up. Okay, so not to throw a wrench into the whole thing.
No, I'll know it when I see it for sure. Because we need to see it powered down, basically, right? That is a Voyager holodeck. Or Hollow Suite.
Hold on.
Well, and there is a suite like that on Deep Space Nine that's a Federation Hollow Suite, but that's not one of Quark's Hollow Suites.
Okay, well, I don't think
Quark's are kind of Cardassian looking. What if you just search Quark's Hollow Suite instead?
All right, I'll try that. Well, you guys discuss for a moment while I do that.
What are your thoughts, Adam?
Well, here's my limited knowledge of how Holo anything works. Now, I with the holodeck, I could see it working quite well, actually, because seems like you have. Here's my perception of how it works is that, so, if, with distance as you're walking, everything changes up. But what I don't get with a holodeck is if I'm here and you guys are way over there, how does everything work in that case? Like if you have two live people.
So the visual image and sound dampening are both like the immediate questions that I think you're right, obviously come up. And when we discussed this in our episode of Locutors of Trek, another fine podcast we happen to host.
Quite excellent, really.
Indeed. I think that was a very early first season episode, which we've now concluded, dear listener. We talked about the fact, right, there's this combination of force fields and just enough sort of transporter energy to make photonic constructs solid. So my suspicion is that what the computer does is layer. See, there's a decent one.
Is that it?
That's pretty much
it. That's not very big. Yeah, holodeck.
So it's not a huge room, right? But so in this space or in any other holodeck, basically what they're doing is it's a combination of force fields and this transporter technology, such that they have to limit sound output and transform visual information such that they can scale you away from each other, even though you're basically all just held in place, just far enough away from each other that you can't actually touch each other unless you come close enough to do that and sufficient safeties are off.
Okay, so in the case of this question, if I was to physically bring a baseball or baseball bat into a holodeck or holosuite and throw it, it will hit the wall or the roof, the ceiling. If I was to bring one, but if the holosuite made one for me and I threw it at the wall or the ceiling, it would.
Well,
I was thinking about that. Because what we've been told anyway is, at least on the shorthand, the holodeck is a combination of holograms, force fields, and replicators.
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, replicate real things.
Matter energy conversion. Right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because you can eat an apple.
If you want, you can eat an apple. Exactly.
Yeah. But does that apple then? Oh no, it wouldn't.
An apple is actually nourishing.
Okay, so say you have your baseball, which it has replicated for you. Okay, and you throw that baseball that was physical when it left your hand because you needed to throw it. At any point the computer wants, I assume it can turn that replicated baseball into a holographic baseball.
Sure, and then carry it along the necessary visual path.
Exactly right. The only question I have is, and I was thinking about this too, because what it leads you to be like, how do they do perspective between people? So say you're at the plate and somebody's in the outfield. How do they seem far away to you?
Everybody's going to have their own personal force field, right? Like this far away from them. That's the trick.
That can create like ocular lenses.
Yeah, and auditory stimuli like right here that will give good 360 like Dolby surround. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Everybody has noise canceling headphones, and
but the real issue, having dealt with those objections, right? The real issue is how many people can you successfully stack in a holosuite
before they punch each other,
before they run out of room and have to encounter each other.
See, this is where,
and that's the real question.
To me, the excuse me, guys. To me, the holosuite was a one-person activity. I don't understand how it could. Well, maybe it could. What do I know? But holodeck, I kind of understand. It's much larger.
But you're right. The holosuite seems more intimate and personal, and like maybe 1-2 people at most, right?
Yeah.
Because in that size of a room,
realistically, you could fit like
being held at either end.
See, here the problem is in that baseball game there was 2 teams,
right?
Like, to get one team in there, that's one thing.
And moreover,
I don't know about this at all.
to stick the two teams in separate holosuites would be
and then link them.
equally insane.
Could you do that? No, because what if you have to tag a guy out?
Right? Then you have to tag
They
their
would have to be
holographic representation in your space. Right? It's going to have to be real-time madness. Mind you,
that's fine because the holograms do feel real to the people who are in the
maybe they're using all of the holosuites. Now, do we know where the game actually takes place? Do we know
one
if
of
it
the
takes place
DS9
at Quarks?
holosuites?
Or it
Yes.
doesn't take place aboard the Vulcan Starfleet ship.
No.
So they play because I think they do play.
I mean,
aboard DS9,
maybe they don't say, but I just always
because they practice aboard DS9 for sure.
They do.
And Quark, we know, has at least a half dozen holosuites.
It just seemed like the same field, but I guess it's just the program. So that program could go anywhere. I don't know then. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you had... I mean, we could turn it back to Holodeck then. If you think maybe this happened on the Vulcan ship, then maybe...
Or if they're doing some kind of linking maneuver or something, maybe you can have lots of people everywhere. But
so far, I don't think we've poked a big hole in this, though.
Adam, you look like you got something brewing here.
No. My problem, and this is where I'm having a hard time getting my head around it, is I can see it working. The problem with the whole thing with baseball is a flat field, people in the outfield, far away, a ball going back and forth or anywhere, high, low. I do like the idea that, Davin, that you said that, the replicated ball could turn into a hologram. That makes sense to me. But unless the outfield is holograms or just created figures rather than real people, I don't understand how it could possibly work, because you still couldn't get the depth, unless.
And one of the biggest singular problems with this is the initial demonstration of a holodeck. Because if you recall, in Encounter at Farpoint,
yes,
either Riker or Data picks up a rock and throws it at the wall of the holodeck enough that it bops, and the whole thing pixelates for a moment, right? So there's some... I mean, and of course, the holodeck's a narrative device. This is all for the purpose of allowing them to use outdoor spaces in space at their whim. And the whole thing is the most wonderful theatrical device. And in that sense, it's unimpeachable as an idea for a sci-fi show. But in terms of the practicalities, we do run into these really deep problems.
But the experience when you just talked about, because that's you remember that episode where Barkley, of course, was creating the crew members. So you had Geordi, Riker, Picard, the Three Musketeers, essentially. But as Deanna or somebody, I think it was a doctor, no, probably Deanna, can't remember which one. Anyway, they entered, and as they went through the holodeck, you encountered more and more. That was very different than what we had seen before with the Encounter at Farpoint.
Yes, very different. There were at most 3 people, and they were never far from each other.
Right.
In some respects.
And at that point, then I thought, okay, so as I'm walking through a meadow or a field or whatever it is, like landscape, the whole holodeck just rotates and shifts. It's almost like I'm walking. I'm not walking. It's almost like a treadmill I'm walking.
You're on a treadmill, yeah, more than that. Yeah. And so to me, in the say the Enterprise holodeck or something, you could easily accommodate the baseball game with spectators, because everyone would walk out to their spot, but basically the computer would just maneuver them just far enough apart they couldn't hit each other and stack them all up in this cubic volume. Because even if the energy cuts out, you've lost gravity anyway. So they're just going to be like, oh, well, I'm floating in space. At least the OH&S hazard is not that significant if the holodeck is off. Hi, Badgery 55.
Isn't Dave chiming in? There has to be a limit to the number of people that can fit in the space. Yeah, definitely. So, that's the limit. That's the biggest limit we've come across here.
That's the most significant limit.
Well, look what I have in here in my hand. I have the Star Trek Encyclopedia hardcover by Michael and Denise Okuda, so they would know.
I should have grabbed my tech.
Yeah, I was going to grab my tech manual, but I didn't have time.
They define holodeck matter. They define holodeck matter as a partially stable form of matter created by transporter-based replicators for use in holodeck simulations. This material is stable only within a holographic environment simulator. If removed from a holodeck, of course, it degrades.
Because it needs that continuous reinforcement, right? So the other thing that this raises is this whole thing would be so much easier, but also wilder if this was all using transporter technology, right? Because if this room was a specialized kind of transporter, which we know it's not for regular people, even though people can get stored in the pattern buffers of the transporter and shunted to the holodeck, as we know on DS9 when they get into the spy story. We know for a fact that it doesn't work this way in Star Trek, but if it did, all of these problems would be solved, right? Because if you were actually transported into essentially a converted energy state, then none of these distances about limit or anything apply. You can simply define them within a virtual environment, and everybody has to play by those rules. But here, like, the real beautiful friction that Star Trek always poses is that these are real bodies in a world of simulacra. And what happens when the level of reality of the simulacra gets played with, right? With Moriarty or with the tomb at Fistful of Datas or all that kind of stuff, right?
Thanks,
I mean, that's the beautiful friction of the holodeck because it isn't a pure conversion. Sorry, what did you say, David?
I said, thanks, Blinars, making the holodeck extra good.
That's right.
It defines the holodeck as the holodeck employed three-dimensional holographic projections as well as transporter-based replications of actual objects. So basically what we said. So it all makes sense as long as you're not punching each other. But yeah, like there has to be a limit. Like if you go up to the holo suite, it has to say like maximum like 10 people or something. But so the big problem I have with this is the fact that there was two teams.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they're using
18 people plus spectators.
Yeah, well, there was. They say plus spectators. There was ROM.
Were generated.
There was ROM, and eventually Cisco joined him. There was only 2 spectators, and the rest of them were just holograms. So the spectators.
But we're still dealing with then.
And he was sitting pretty much right behind the dugout, so it's only another couple feet. I'm not too worried about ROM.
But we do have the whole baseball diamond otherwise to cover, right?
Yeah,
and it is a huge space with all those people. Now, the other thing to throw into this is that sometimes people do bring stuff into the holodeck, right? Jake and Cisco bring gloves and a ball. In fact, the ball that Cisco would take out of his office to take there, I suspect.
Well, that's true.
You assume the baseball's real.
Yeah. It can't work then.
And
if the baseball's real, it can't work.
Zia and Worf also bring in batleths and mechleths. Now, which could, admittedly, those could work more easily.
Yes.
Right? But you're right. The projectile is the real trick. And Data's already shown the projectile can defeat the holodeck.
I mean, listen, you hit one fly ball, it's bouncing off the ceiling. And it's
like, crack, you've broken the emitter, and you're like, oh, well, now there's a hole in the sky.
And they show people in the holodeck like they seem to have spatial awareness. If they want to hit the wall with something, they do. They're like, oh, the wall's right there. And like, you're like, oh, well, how did you know that? But so, I don't know. Like, they almost have spatial awareness. Like, they almost know when you go into the holodeck, you all just sort of fan out. And then, like,
and maybe that's part of the sort of dance of doing the holodeck, right? They've been doing this for long enough, maybe, that people have figured out how to, just like we all know that we like dispose ourselves along the furniture in an angle toward the TV that none of us are going to like lose picture quality too badly. but we don't all sit on top of each other on the one piece of furniture that's direct. Well, if you're the dog, you don't follow these rules.
See, but
you know,
here's the thing, though. Even in a holosuite, this is where I have a hard time with. I mean, if you throw that picture back up again, like even if you have 18 people, 9 in the dugout. Sorry, not 9, but one pitcher, whatever. You know how it works. Anyway,
yeah.
There's no way you could put 18 people, never mind the fans, in there, and they're not like Dave and Davin. You know when people are close to you, you feel it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you have that.
The 18 people,
right?
What if? Okay, what if? I mean, the baseball being real really seems to add a problem in the baseball bat, because even if it's 9 people and you're swinging a baseball bat, I feel like somebody's getting hit. But
I imagine, given that they're Vulcans, they're going to want a regulation ball, regulation bat down to the gram, to the centimeter, millimeter.
True.
So they're going to be
pine tar in there, man.
Right, they're going to be holographic. They're going to be holodeck tools, is my suspicion, so the computer can make them accurately. But still, I think this question, in terms of DS9, really comes down to how many holodecks are available and how many people can you split into them. Because if
that's
you can
what I want to know.
Like O'Brien's day, is O'Brien playing on the team in that episode?
He's coaching because he pulled his shoulder again.
Oh, that's right. But like his engineering staff must be miserable for those few hours that the game is going on, because they're going to have to keep all of these holodecks running together simultaneously. Because I mean, how many holosuites does Quark have? I think he's got half a dozen, maybe.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
So if you could separate it 3 or 4 people per holodeck, so that they could all be synchronized onto this field.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Because if you can do that,
it's gotta be something.
Then I'm okay with all of this. Like even the real ball and bat.
If you can, one, that's madness.
Yeah, if you're trying to cram them into one, I'm not buying it.
I can buy it too. If that's what happens, I can see it. But not.
I wish we had an answer to that. I wish we had an answer to that.
But that even says to me then further, you cannot bring your own ball in if you're going to have your own. If you're going to be in multi suites.
Well, I guess it would just be a real ball for you, maybe. No, it could never be. No, here's the thing: it could be a real ball because it said in that description transporter-based technology. So you
think it would grab it with its momentum?
Well, it would just transport the ball where it needed to go. So if it needs to, if you're hitting you're pitching the ball, then the pitcher has it.
Yeah, but that would always be. I mean, okay, that's interesting. But for a game like baseball, there's always a delay with transporters. It's not instantaneous.
Yeah, the one thing is holodeck technology seems to be really, really good and really fast. It takes a lot of power.
But now, I mean, so there's the other thing. So there's that wonderful moment in baseball where I forget who the pitcher is, and you guys may know.
Fancy Dan? Now that's a fancy Dan.
He throws the ball and the pigeon explodes, right? Like the thing you can't replicate in baseball. And now this goes right to the heart of Deep Space Nine. And I think it's why this episode is one of the really interesting episodes of the show. Because the whole thing is playing at this one of the central metaphors of the entire series. Right? Which is,
I believe we've made this metaphor on a Locutors of Trek before, so go back.
We may well have.
Definitely make it here. Make it here for sure.
So, in the pilot, of course, the fundamental metaphor Sisko uses after we're introduced to he and Jake is the metaphor of baseball, that there is this element of unpredictability, and what we're literally playing with is the fact that we don't know the future and we have to react in quote unquote real time, and that element to me would be just complete madness. And of course it does that, Dave. Absolutely. And it's got to track the way the baseball's going. And in that sense, it's sort of regular physics. But the weird, bizarre things that happen in baseball games that there's no way that a computer could successfully script. I mean, maybe they follow the paths of starships back for light years. Maybe they could do
linear.
this.
Well, you know what I'm thinking of is when the three outfielders run into each other.
Oh, beautiful! Yes,
Classic,
yes,
man.
You know,
Definitely.
yes,
Or a Vulcan
exactly.
missing the plate, and you have to find him and kill him.
it's a good question. I like it.
But like some of those things, like that element of chance, like to me, that would be the ethical problem with all of this, is that in some sense, when you submit that baseball to the transporter, the computer and the transporter has determined the track of that baseball in a way that reality might never deal with so quote unquote perfectly. You know?
Could it not though? Could it not? So like say it's all in fractions of seconds, of course, but the ball hits the bat. The computer analyzes the speed, the spin, and everything of the ball coming off the bat, and projecting that ahead via transportation and hologram shouldn't be that hard.
Well, I think
fast.
it's already done on gaming systems today.
I suppose. Like I think back to my old Wii baseball system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got my Wii baseball.
That's good stuff, man.
That was fun.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah. I think the best game
Flying for some Wii Sports.
The Wii Sports Resort, where you had to do like the weird chicken dance flapping thing and lean around to get places.
What?
I love that one. Yeah,
I don't
that was a good one.
Huh.
It wasn't in the basic Wii Sports one though.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
where are we coming down on this one, fellas?
Well, I think I mean for me, a single holosuite cannot possibly satisfy the number of people required to play a game of baseball if you're having all real live teams. And
I think we all agree there.
You got to do it somehow. Like, so in that sense, the single holosuite is, like it's a definite yes for me. You got to find some other workaround. Call engineering.
Agreed. But I guess we do have a caveat on this one. I like to come down hard on this, but if there's enough holodecks, I think it's weird, but you can make it happen. Arguments?
Well, I mean,
anything can happen. Like it's Star Trek. I mean, I think we have I think we've got to the limit of our knowledge of how things work, Daphne, on this one.
That's fair.
Right.
I think the 2-word answer I can give is daisy chain.
Daisy chain, yeah, exactly.
Daisy
chain those holodecks, and you're all set.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, moving on.
All right.
So this next one here is Tribbles are legitimately terrifying.
So this was mine today, and now I want to ask a question before we start here. But have you guys watched any of the short treks?
Yes, all of them.
Yes.
So the Trouble with Edward.
Trouble with Edward.
Mm.
So all right. So when I go back as Tribbles, and wait for you having to communicate with this family there.
Oh, we're good.
Okay. So
when I go back to the original series, Trouble with Tribbles, I think that was dealt with in a very comical way. They're so cute. Don't feed them after dark, almost like Gremlins kind of thing. It was very interesting as far as how that all played out. But they never really went further than the fact that they're honestly they were causing havoc on that station, if you remember. They were multiplying like crazy, getting into things. But
they were overwhelmed for sure.
They were overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
and nobody took the obvious "let's blow them out the airlock" kind of attitude. But
I was going to bring that up. I'm like, everyone just gets off the ship, you evacuate, the whole ship into space, and away you go.
Yeah. So Trouble
is that ethical?
Well,
it's a life form.
So, but hold on now. So you've seen the Trouble with Edward, and this, if you want to talk about this, I like this episode a lot. It was great. So they're talking about how they're going to provide, food, a food source for a planet, or and Edward comes.
They're all meat.
That's right. They're like a scallop, if you remember. They're like a scallop.
A fuzzy little scallop. Yeah.
Because they don't have a skeleton, they just have like muscle and hair, right?
Right. So then the
Basically.
debate at the science table there, comes, well, why? How could we do that? That's unethical. And then Edward goes, well, I could genetically engineer them and dumb them down. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just. I love it. That's his answer to it being unethical, right?
It isn't bad.
Horribly mess with there.
It's like, we'll just make a dumb one, so it's okay. All we do is throw.
We already begin to see the problem with Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're part him now. He puts his own genetics in there because he wanted them to be bigger.
But I also thought it was, yes, they did that. But I also, they were talking about how, how do they taste? Well, he ate one. Of course, he tried one.
Yeah. Like chicken, right? Like, what he said? Everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
But he's eating himself. It's twisted. Like, the whole Edward thing. So, like, going forward from that, is that all Tribbles? No. That's just, like, whatever Tribbles branch off from the ones he was messing with, right?
No. But let's, in both cases, so they're multiplying like crazy in the old series, original series episode, and they didn't explain how they got a handle of that, other than they fell over Kirk at the end, and he gave that little weird Kirk look, and everybody laughs, and it's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, like that's as far as it goes. But we do know that the Klingons waged a war against Tribbles at some point, right?
But that then implies, a war would imply that they have some kind of intelligence to fight back.
Oh, no, Klingons just call it a war because you know how they exaggerate their stories?
Yes. All for the glory of the Empire.
Yes, exactly.
But they certainly seemed freaked out enough by like the invasive reproduction of Tribbles.
Yeah, so
that they like went on a sort of a killing campaign against them.
So whether it's Edward or the original series Tribble, or did we see them? We did see them in Deep Space Nine too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trials and Tribulations, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
So
yes, indeed, Trials and Tribulations.
Like they're the silliest prop on Earth.
Here's the funny part: is they are cute. I'm terrified. First I was mad, Sam, and now I'm terrified. What are you going to call me?
Sam Adam's a nice guy. We've had dinner.
Stop picking on Adam.
In reference to my friends here, I even wear my lobster shirt. As talking.
Oh,
very nice. I'm wearing plaid, so I'm a stereotype, but whatever.
Well,
Anyway, so here's my thing: is that these are the cutest little things. They're soft, they're cuddly. They don't seem to excrete anything that we know about.
Yeah,
pregnant.
They have a nice little coup, but now they get away from you. They're multiplying like crazy. And what I did like about the Edward episode was the fact that the crew of the starship, whatever it was called, was trying to catch up. They were vacuuming him up. But what was awesome was when they started going behind the panels. And, as they're having babies like crazy, they're now interfering with ship systems. And then I think there's a tipping point where they just get so fast and so many are being born that they can't possibly beam them out or whatever, airlock the ship.
Yeah. Right, like a problem of exponential expansion, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the real danger of the Tribble.
That's the real danger. So if you were in a space, or not in a space, but if you're in a ship or on a station on a planet with no atmosphere around you, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
See, I view it the opposite way. I think Tribbles are not terrifying if you're on a ship or a station, because again, if you're not at least ethically concerned, you can just get everybody off, evacuate it all into space, and go back.
But let me
on a planet where they are terrifying is as an environmentalist. They're absolutely an ecological disaster waiting to happen.
They are
across the galaxy, and that's what's terrifying.
I think it's fair to say
you can't stop invasive species. We can't stop cane toads. We can't stop cane toads in Australia.
Right.
How are we going to stop Tribbles on Vulcan?
Well, look at the zebra mussels.
That's terrifying.
The zebra mussels in the Great Lakes.
We can't stop any invasive species.
Absolutely.
I got
Well, I got
goutweed.
goutweed in my
In
yard.
my garden.
Wow, you got it too? Oh, my condolences, man.
Yeah. There's some place
Just
out here in the past.
get a flamethrower or something and salt the earth.
I just spend 15,
it's
20 minutes
terrible.
every night. That's pretty much the last thing I do in my garden every night. Just pulling goutweed for 15, 20 minutes.
But what I think it is
is
the idea that you can control them until you can't. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, in some ways, they're a kind of weird. I mean, like the analogy to invasive species, and particularly invasive like mammalian species of all kinds, like rabbits in New Zealand or whatever we want to talk about.
Rats in Australia.
Absolutely. These or
what
Joe Rogan's favorite feral hogs in Texas. Although honestly, if I saw a stampede of feral hogs, I would probably be pretty freaked out myself. Those are big things.
Pigs are big and scary.
Yeah, and they're not that dumb. Anyway, go down that route.
Even a hog is more frightening. I think there's like a legitimate fear that people would want to react quicker against something.
It's a real physical threat rather than a tribble.
A tribble, or even a toad or a mussel. I mean, these are little things that just sort of you turn your back, and 5 minutes later you're in trouble. And
on their homeworld, Phlox tells us what keeps them in check is the high abundance of lizards. So,
just huge predation.
Yeah, just huge predation. So, like maybe some planets would have enough, but like eagles would pick them up like mad. Like where I live, I can't drive like 30 seconds without seeing like 10 osprey. The osprey would clean up a pile of tribbles.
Well, they'd be so happy about that.
And so would the raccoons, quite frankly. Like, I really can't see tribbles getting very far.
They're after seagulls.
So then the seagulls have a problem because they've got too much food.
Well, there's that.
All these roly-poly, balloon-shaped raccoons.
But then you bring in the lions to get rid of those, and then the
lions, he said.
And then they just freeze to death in the winter.
Well, that's when we finally demonstrate that Nova Scotia has cougars.
The eastern, man, me and my buddy Juice get into this argument all the time because he says a buddy of his knows they're definitely out there still. I say the eastern cougar's gone.
Oh man, I know folks who say they've definitely seen one for sure.
Yeah, everybody knows someone who's seen one up here, but I don't.
Yeah, absolutely. No, about that, you're true. Everybody knows someone who says they've seen one. That's for sure.
No, it was like I saw it on a trail cam. It's just its tail, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the other analogy I see here in some ways is a sort of sci-fi analogy to the way in which problems do this in general, right? It is a great DS9 episode in response to that comment.
I agree.
It's satisfying on just so many levels. Even like the way they filmed it, like the every level, it's just great. Yeah, it's a wonderful episode.
You know what though, Dave and Davin, they haven't. Think about the Tribbles. They haven't overdone them over the years. Every now and then they touch on them. Even this short
thing came out of nowhere. It's just like, oh wow, they're doing
but it was a short 15-minute episode. That's all we needed. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And exactly. I think you're quite right.
And even in that episode, at the end, remember when the captain was being court-martialed or whatever, questioned, and then somehow they got to the surface of the planet because you call it an international or not an international, but a galactic incident because they made it to the planet and started reproducing. So to your point, Davin, like somewhere along the line, like there was a big problem created. Not only ecologically, but certainly they lost a ship, they lost a crew member, and they ended up in a galactic incident over this.
Yeah.
So I do believe they're terrifying. Cute but terrifying.
Right, yeah.
Not environmentalist, I'm terrified.
Yeah. But it's just they're always gonna win by the math. And that's the real horror of it.
Hey, you'll never get
not even that they mean you any harm, they're just gonna destroy you by accident.
It's like how Alberta says it's rat free. It's like, get out of here. Give me a bag of corn in 24 hours. I'll find you a rat.
Well, I mean, and honestly, compared to like provinces, say, like ours, full
Here.
of port cities,
Calling
calling yourself rat free is, by comparison, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
We expect them in some respects here, yeah. All right, so on to our.
I think we all
here.
agree that Tribbles are legitimately terrifying. You know, fellas, we've been talking into the wind. We haven't even launched any of these probes. Now,
What?
I even have I even fashioned it. I mean, I'm not wearing my engineering outfit, but I do have an engineering outfit I got for Father's Day.
Oh, what?
Well, yeah, I'm not well prepared here.
Have we already said Happy Father's Day to each other? Because I've forgotten.
Yes, Happy Father's Day, y'all.
Indeed,
we're all
gentlemen.
fathers here.
Happy Father's Day to you.
That's
guys.
right.
Yeah.
And to all those fathers out there, or father figures out there,
or those who have fathers.
Oh, or father figures. We got it all covered.
And of course, the greatest father in Starfleet history, Miles Edward O'Brien.
No.
Oh.
Well, that's an interesting. Actually, that would be an interesting topic.
I was going to say, no, there's a greatest
father.
Yeah.
We know it's not Cisco, by the way.
Ooh.
Joseph or Benjamin?
Yeah.
Joseph's not a. Well, oh yeah. Cripes. Never mind. Sorry, I'll open back up in my head there.
I rigged up a fancy new probe here in the engineered.
All right. Send off the first two for us anyway.
Well, back to the old one. Oh, fellas. All right. It was. I'm retiring my yellow jersey.
It sounds like it exploded. It sounds like it exploded.
Yeah, well.
So here's our last one.
Yep. Why don't you go ahead there, Dave?
Well, the Vidians should be the first Delta Quadrant society considered for Federation membership.
This is what I brought to a debate 9 one time.
That's right.
This one interesting.
I think it's a great. I think it's a great point.
Before I was trying to remember where we had talked about it. I think I was on that.
Yeah. I think you were on that debate. That's right. So the Vidians, of course, this species that were afflicted by the phage for 2 millennia. By the point Voyager meets them in the Delta Quadrant, they have various interactions.
So insanely long to think
right?
about afflicted by a disease. Like imagine the Black Plague lasting 2 millennia. It's like unthinkable. Like you can't even imagine what state of society would be in if COVID lasted for like 2 millennia. Yeah,
we 3 years was bad enough, guys.
Exactly right. I mean. And you know it's exactly, and it's still circulating around. It's just at a point where it's sort of endemicized.
Right? No one cares. It was just like I've had it.
Not killing people.
Cross fingers, do the things right. But right, so exactly. This is an extraordinary disease. The phages, right? It eats their internal organs. It eats their skin. It messes with their DNA. And it's forced them to develop this incredibly potent medical technology that allows, and medical transporter technology. We're really hot on transporters tonight, interestingly. But
as we hear the best medical technology like we've ever encountered and stuff.
Exactly.
By a pretty significant margin.
Comments on and they steal Neelix's lungs, I think, in our first encounter with them. They
just transport them out. Like they just take your body parts with transporters. It was like
yeah, and I mean the rest of the series, Neelix is operating on one of Kess's lungs, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
As I recall.
Yeah, they don't mention that again, I don't think, but it's true.
Not really.
And they have him with those holographic lungs for a while, and those are breathing for him. That's an intense.
Oh, that's right. They have to like completely immobilize him. Oh my! Can you even imagine? Like, I would.
Yeah, he says as he's sick of the immobilization, he's just like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I can't just not move forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's just like, let me go. I can't do it. So they leave him in an absolutely awful position. And this is really the sort of acme of their development in this direction, right? That they've divorced themselves from compassion for other living beings while developing the most sophisticated medical technology known.
Mhm.
So that being on the one side, I still think there are reasons to consider them for Federation membership.
So the
But I'm
question
interested
here
to hear
is
your thoughts.
so like you said, they've given up their empathy and their compassion
Hmm.
for other beings, and their moral,
Largely, anyway.
yeah, largely, they don't seem to feel good about it. Some of them they're totally on board and don't care, but you're like some definitely like
Yeah, but we meet
what's it
Pell, I think is her name,
Hell, yeah,
who has a very different view and represents a
Laura Pell or
segment of their population.
yeah.
Well,
So
So there is some
Schmallis, she names him Schmallis.
but don't
That's
forget,
right.
was that the episode? Was she when they separated Torres from her Klingon side and her human
Is
side?
that the same episode?
Anyway,
No,
That is
no,
definitely done by a
that is a
Vidian.
Vidian episode. Yeah,
Absolutely, that's a Vidian episode. I don't know if it's the same one, but that's
they
terrifying. Oh my god, that is
needed
like a
pure
horror
Klingon
story
DNA.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
because they can
was.
resist the phage.
Yeah.
I think her Klingon side dies in that episode, doesn't it?
yes, I
It
think
sacrifices itself for her.
Yeah.
For her
So
human side, which it just amalgamates them both in the
if
end.
B'Elanna
So
dies
she's just back to
gloriously in
normal.
battle, she'll get to Stovacor twice, which is interesting.
This is something to think about.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
her human version, her regular version, won't want to be there at all, so she's just gonna leave. So there's still only ever gonna be one B'Elanna in Stovacor, if we're gonna be honest with that.
The other one just every day gets up and runs for the exit, while everybody else is like, "Wee!"
Yeah.
That's the Klingon
So the
version of
question
the
here,
prisoner right there.
the way I see this question, so you have a race who's done that. Been doing horrible things and have
Yeah.
shown no Federation-like qualities for millennia at this point. Like we've argued on the Debate 9, can the Cardassians be accepted into the Federation after being evil
Sure.
for like a few generations? But like, so how how quick is this turnaround on these Vidians?
Great question.
Even despite their technology, which huge benefits, would save billions of lives.
Sure.
Like, so that's the question.
Yeah. So what were we saying there, Adam?
I was just trying to figure out how. So they were able to cure the phage and then they started showing what they were before.
So they're good now. So they're good now.
Somewhere in the 2380s, it says they're able to cure it. Yeah. So
again, like we've mentioned, there was a large segment of that population that didn't really have bad feelings about what they were doing.
Yeah, but how would they?
If you have a huge segment of are they ready for Federation membership though? Are they going to be like on board with all this?
Well, I think that's the question, because if
Mhm.
to be part of the Federation, you have to hit a bunch of check boxes. I mean, somebody's judging you and saying, yes, you can come in because you do all of this. But somewhere in there's probably got to be a point. You're not a warfaring or a belligerent race of people that are going to or hasn't done something. But I don't know what the time limit between when you stop to when you're allowed in is. But somewhere in there,
they would have to unite. They say that, so all the Vidians at least would have to do lip service to the fact that they all agree with these Federation ideas.
Well,
whether they
and the Vidians still have a homeworld, right?
Well, that's where I was going to say is like you're going to have to put obviously an embassy or somewhere in there to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're ready personally. There's too much.
A long time doing nasty things.
If I understand you, Adam, your argument would be that they shouldn't be the first Delta Quadrant society considered for Federation membership.
I think
Galactians seem a little more ready,
later on.
For example.
Yes, I think they have value. I think that there's always they can work towards that membership, but they have to prove some things along the way first.
Well, and I think it's still possible for the Federation to engage in things like, say technology exchanges or cultural programs like they do with the Klingons
A
in
lot
various
they'd need to
episodes,
rebuild
right?
their society that the Federation could offer them, for
Because
sure.
I mean, the one thing the Federation can look at and say is, okay, they don't need to do that anymore because they've gotten rid of the phage.
But it's
And
almost like
given that desperate element is gone, what happens in their society now?
well, that's a great question, and it comes back to like how long. Even the Cardassians, like, do you wait for a generation to die off that did all that stuff?
Even the Bajorans, they were just the victims, and they're taking like a decade to try to work into the Federation as they rebuild their society. So like imagine how long it's going to take the Vidians to rebuild their society to even like the Bajoran level.
Right. So here's
I mean, they
a
have
real
religious things,
world.
resistance as well in Bajor, so that's a little bit different.
Well,
But
let me give you a real world example from this would have been 2002, I think. No, 2004. So at that time, I was working in northeast France as a guide at the Beaumont Hamel Royal Newfoundland Regiment Memorial site. And I also did some working time up at the Vimy Ridge Memorial site. And during that time, we were in a place near Vimy Ridge because it's right beside this city called Arras, which is about 150,000 people. Coincidentally, for those folks who are Hamlet fans, it's the place where the word Arras comes from. That's the scene where Hamlet kills the guy from behind the tapestry. It's a word for a tapestry, but it's from the city of Arras. Anyway, this place was like it's geographically connected to Vimy Ridge, and we were out around there one day doing a tour, and we were at a First World War German cemetery, and we happened to encounter some German. They were like high school, early university age students. And they were coming this way because, as they explained to us, they're much like the British Commonwealth and other folks have war graves that they maintain in France and Belgium and other places where people fell, because that was the way it was done at the time. Instead of repatriating bodies, they buried them where they fell. The Germans did the same thing at the time. So there's lots of German cemeteries all over northern France and Belgium. Lots of places, but they had a war graves fund that had paid to take care of these things for a while. But after a couple of generations, that fund ended up running out of money, and they had described it as partially being related to the fact that culturally they didn't really want to talk about these war graves too much, and the First World War graves ended up getting lumped in with the Second World War graves because there was such deep cultural shame and cultural circumspection around how we deal with this Second World War period that they'd kind of run out. So these teenagers had ended up getting involved, and like early 20s, getting involved in this volunteer program to go and spend a few weeks basically in a kind of practicum taking care of these cemeteries and learning about what was going on. And this is what, in 2004, the First World War ended in 1918/19 sometime, right? So I think your point about generations there is really powerfully made even in our own history, that like there's a transforming relationship that could be taken to that over time for the Vidians and for people who'd been affected by the Vidians, right? There's going to be a whole process of either reparations or reconciliation that would probably need to happen with lots of their neighbors that they'd gone raiding against for organs at various times. I mean, that's a really excellent point, and it probably would be a long candidacy if there were one. You know,
changed my name to Schmallis. I like it.
Schmullis. An eloquent response, sir.
I like the ring to it.
So my personal feeling is no, they should not be the first. I'm not even saying the second or third. I think that, like I think I said with the Cardassians or anybody else that they've been at war with, and where there's been grievous injury, you have to let time pass and you have to let things settle down, and there has to be relationships and trust built. Because I mean, trust is the key, and to be way too much mistrust in the beginning. And I would be honestly, might be a citizen of the Federation going, what? Why would you let those guys in? You know,
like, is this just the convenience of their medical technology?
Well, sure, but then that's self-serving.
The admirals are just going to be like, yes, it's just for their medical technology, and we don't care.
Oh, medical
that's the admiral
weaponry. You know,
yes, exactly.
They've got. Well, yeah. I mean,
do you want to just vaporize your opponent's lungs? But I mean, I think your larger point, Adam, stands that like if it's not for self-serving reasons, what would be the reasons for Federation membership for society, such as the Vidians at the current moment?
Okay, so.
Well, in the idealistic sense, it's to join the galactic community.
Sure. So this is where, and this is another topic because we're almost running out of time here. But when do you? Okay, so now we're at war with the Borg, or we're at war with whoever.
Sure.
Now their technology would benefit. Do we, fast track them in? I don't know, but.
Well, there could be some real world examples of that playing out right now.
Absolutely. I mean, just think about the material transfers from the United States to the USSR during the Second World War, which, unlike the material transfers under the Lend-Lease program to the United Kingdom, were never accounted for. No. Because FDR oddly said, that socialist state is not so bad, but you know what? I really want to dismantle is the British bloody empire. And so they made them pay for every cent of that stuff while they gave technology transfers and other things to the Soviet Union, that they were like, you know what? We are perfectly happy for you guys to throw yourselves vigorously against the Eastern Front for us. And so it was worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, there was
to transfer
ships that just disappeared to the east and nobody cared.
Right?
I was more thinking the fast tracking of like Sweden and Finland and Ukraine into NATO. But yeah.
Right? Right? Yeah. I mean, these things are like opportunism and the kind of...
I think they would. If the answer is would they? Yes, they would. I think it would be pretty quick. In the Federation, would probably fast track the Vidians in. But should they is another question. But would they? They would.
In my mind, I always believe that the Federation is above that.
Yeah, but the admirals aren't.
No, I get you. This is where I get disappointed.
The captains are like, I don't think we should be. I don't know about this.
So now let me pitch this to both of you. Your discrepancy in opinion would be a great episode.
Yeah, it would.
Someone trying to provoke the entry or to get the Vidians into the Federation while there's something happening, or they're going to use some event to say we need to bring them in, right? It would be a kind of an Ensign Rose style episode. Yeah, it would be.
We definitely need Picard for that episode.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah.
We have a standard.
As soon as one Vidian is tread upon, we are all tread upon.
No, he would be the other way. He would be the other way.
I love that.
We cannot bring them in, anyway, I could just see his argument against it.
Oh, he would absolutely be like measured. He'd be like, no. They got a lot of work to do, but we got to get them on the process.
They
could
steal that medical technology. Mr. Data, how can we best steal Vidian medical technology?
Would you like to arrange a bilateral cultural and technological exchange? Oh, Darmok, I never cease to come back to that episode.
Temba, with arms wide.
Temba! His arms closed.
Let birds go for the Lutesman. Round the turbulent quick. We'll close the reverse harbor.
We should close the reverse harbor here, fellas, don't you think? So
Indeed.
for me, I'm thinking I don't think they should, but they would. That's where I come down on this. What about you guys?
I'm with you. They should, but they shouldn't, but they would.
They want that sweet tech.
And again, I'm going to slide myself through that fine needle's eye and say this is a great episode in the making. Maybe a premise for a saga episode when I get my act together and finally get that stuff pulled back together where I lost it. Yeah,
Careful you don't fall off that fence you're sitting on there, fella.
Oh, man. She's a sharp fence. I gotta do me kegels to stay there.
All right, well, this has been another Class L probe. Oh, here comes the proback with our data, boys.
It's still good.
Good thing we had it all on camera. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and wherever you get your podcasts. You can contact us at locutorsofgmail.com. You can find our audio version wherever you get your podcasts, most likely. And we are a member of these here United Federations of Podcasts.
Indeed.
Look at that nice logo there. Yeah, exactly. So, we have lots of shows. We just did a Captain Convention. We had Treckle Trunks. Me and Dave are like 10 Treckle Trunks behind.
Oh, we got to get on that, though.
We're Debate 9's fun.
Back to
Katie of House Puxley recently was on
made her inaugural visit.
Very good showing, I thought.
I think she may have given us, as I recall, our Holosuite question, which is great.
She did indeed. And of course, we have the Shubwood Trivia, Locutors of Trek audio podcast. We have our season finale in the can. I'm just working on tweaking the audio second by second because I
was teasing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's worth the wait, though. It's going to be worth the wait. It's quality. On something. What was it on? Legacy? Yeah, it's the legacy of Star Trek. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Lego my legacy.
And sometimes we have a Geek Tall Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun. And, of course, the Live Long podcast. We've got the Command Division where they'll have the Enterprise. What's going on there, Adam? What's going on over that Enterprise?
We are on Season 3, Episode 24, I think, or 23 tomorrow night.
The Council.
Enterprise at 8. So I'm looking forward to that. We're finished here. I'm going to watch that episode. So
you got a long night ahead of you.
It's only
check those out.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes.
We got our Science Division and
Ops Enterprise is really cooking by then.
Check. Oh yeah, and also check out X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. We just did an interview with the voice of Cable, Lawrence Bain, and this Tuesday it's going to be Beyond Good and Evil Part 2, but also Cameo Fest 1996.
Now, I think maybe it may be important at this moment just to say R.I.P. John Romita Sr.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. R.I.P. indeed.
One of the creators, I think the creator of Wolverine, wasn't he?
No, that's Len Wein.
Len Wein, okay.
Who drew it, though? No, I think it was Len Wein and Dave Cockrum.
Maybe, was it Cockrum? Okay.
Maybe not. I'll have to go look that up.
Be mixed up
you might be right about that.
John Romita Sr.
Yeah.
Thanks for the adventures.
Thanks for the images.
Yeah.
And the stories. The artists are great storytellers too.
Stories.
Yes, indeed. And of course, you're talking about stories. How about graphic histories?
Ooh.
My co-host Andre does that. Lots of interviews with storytellers from all mediums. It's really good interviews. And Hold Up a Movie podcast. We just did one on anime movies. I had to watch 3 anime movies, which I'm generally not too keen on. And
did you actually watch Totoro? What did you watch?
We watched Totoro.
I haven't seen the episode yet.
Yeah, Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, and Red Line.
Oh! Classics.
I like one of those movies.
Do you know, I remember opening, I was a general manager in a movie theater, and I remember opening Mononoke.
Wow.
In
1997, I believe that.
Yeah, actually, 99, I think it was. But anyway.
I'm going to bet that was a big opening.
It was in Scarborough. My theater was in Scarborough. It was a big opening. Yeah.
Yeah, man. What a great movie. Ooh.
And of course, Super Mater Brothers, where they review reality shows and things like that. And of course, we do the Mary Mater Marvel Society over there, where we just reviewed Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. Check that out. That was fun review.
Great film.
And of course, there's Eamon on Track, where he reviews albums. You should go on that one sometime, Dave.
Oh, I'd love
to. The guest picks an album, and Eamon listens to it, and then you guys discuss it.
Yeah,
man.
It was
a good
fun.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I made him listen to the complete works of Robert Johnson.
Nice.
I did the post from Sodomy and the Lash.
Ah, sweet.
I think I'm going on next, and I'm making him listen to Sata Masagana by the Abyssinians.
You know what?
Oh, Emaskan.
Yeah, Emaskan's on there.
Oh, man, what a great album.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's a Hellbound podcast with Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, and Trivial Debates, which is the next one's on The Office. I believe they're debating things about The Office, the TV show.
Ooh.
So,
hey, Devin, before you move on,
yeah,
I think it's be remiss by not mentioning Strange New Worlds. Season
right,
2.
We didn't mention that.
Season 2. Oh my gosh, season 2 started last
season 2. Yeah, it did.
It was great.
It was.
And we're I'm not even sure. We're reviewing that on Thursdays now. I'm not sure what time Dave's got.
Yep. Thursdays. Yep. You're right. Thanks for reminding me, Adam. It's not just Enterprise reviews right now. And Deep Space Nine reviews will be back soon, I think. But yes, we are current with all the current shows. So if there's a new episode of Strange New Worlds, we're on it. If there's a new episode of Prodigy, we're on it.
And I said the other day, like, I feel like Star Trek is at its pinnacle right now of how great it is. Between
my love for
Lower Decks, Picard, and now Strange New Worlds is fantastic.
Did
you get season 3 of Picard in you yet, Dave?
I haven't finished it yet. I had a little hiccup where I got involved in watching Barry, which is totally non-Star Trek content, but oh my gosh, it's a masterpiece. That 4th season is a painting in almost every frame. Hard watching, but good stuff.
Oh, there you go. Check that out and check out Picard.
That's my mini review podcast for Barry season 4 right there. 14 seconds. That's all you get.
Well, we have time for.
That's right. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
In that case,
end
transmission.